I have spent my entire adult life battling female health issues. And at this point, at this stage in my life, I want to be able to be an advocate for you so that you don't have to spend your entire life battling female health issues. At the age of 21, I was rushed to the hospital with severe pain in my right side. And the doctors thought that I had appendicitis. So I was scheduled for immediate surgery. They thought my appendix had burst. Come to find out, it was cyst on my ovaries and they had aspirated. That was the beginning of a long battle of female health issues. And they decided to take my appendix, go figure. When I got married and we started down the path of trying to conceive, I started to battle infertility. I ended up getting pregnant about 6 months after trying, only to have that pregnancy end in a brutal miscarriage. What happened was I was scheduled to have a D&C, and the doctor who performed the D&C fully missed getting the fetus out of my uterus. So 2 weeks later, I ended up expelling the fetus on my own. It was excruciatingly painful. After the miscarriage, we discovered that I had very large fibroids on my uterus that could have potentially caused the miscarriage. I'm just going to go ahead and say they did cause the miscarriage. And I ended up trying to conceive for several months and wasn't able to get pregnant again. So I elected to have what is called a myomectomy, which they go in and they cut your uterus and take out the fibroids. Shortly after, I ended up conceiving with my first child, my son, Cameron, and then miraculously, I ended up having a bonus and was pregnant 9 months later with my daughter, Callie. This was at the age of 31 and 32. By the time I was in my late 30s, I started having some thyroid issues and ended up having a goiter that popped out literally in the middle of my throat out of nowhere, and went in to have another surgery scheduled to remove the goiter out of my thyroid. So constantly having battle after battle of health issues, and nobody could explain why, where they were coming from, or what the underlying issues were. So fast forward to now I'm in my mid-40s and perimenopause is really setting in. And I find myself in a lot of pain in my lower abdomen. So I go back to the doctor, find out that the fibroid tumors had ballooned to the size of a 5-month fetus. So now my abdomen looks like I'm pregnant and my uterus is swollen with fibroid tumors. So we scheduled a hysterectomy. It left my ovaries intact, but it ended up throwing me into menopause. So at the age of 46, I'm now in menopause and I'm going through a divorce. I lost my job and we're selling the house and I'm moving. And I'm also the sole provider of my 2 teenage kids, high school age kids, with no help, no support from my ex-husband. And I called my doctor because my stress levels were so high, but I was feeling like something was completely off and I could not pinpoint it. So we checked my hormones, come to find out my testosterone is 2. Count it, 1, 2. I know that the insurance companies and the medical community doesn't think women need testosterone, but yes, we need testosterone. It's surprising that I was even able to function with a level 2 testosterone. I happen to have a progressive, forward-thinking doctor who offers me testosterone pellets, bioidentical pellets. I got my matcha. Got to take a sip. And once I started feeling the effects and the benefits from the pellets, I started feeling better. I started feeling like I could function again. And I just felt like the fog had lifted a little bit and I had some energy that had returned. So now I'm in menopause, post-divorce, and I have the lovely privilege of dating in my late 40s. Wow. It's pretty much a shit show out there, dating in your late 40s, early 50s. I happened to meet a phenomenal partner, and we had a beautiful couple years together. He proposed to me at this beautiful winery in Napa. We had a lovely courtship. We bought a house together. We combined our lives together. And he was tragically killed in a car accident the week before my 50th birthday. Which again led me on this spiral of stress, anxiety, and now grief on top of that. We had just moved into the house that we bought together, and my daughter was about to graduate from high school. My son was finishing his first year of college, and life just took a complete U-turn and tumbled and started spiraling out of control. And when that happened, my hormones went completely haywire. I felt like my hair started falling out literally in chunks. I started having bald spots on my hair. I felt like an elephant was being pressed on my chest. I could hardly swallow or breathe. Because of the grief, I ended up losing something like 20 pounds within a couple of weeks, which is not healthy at all. And I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. I could not function in any way whatsoever. Going through grief and menopause at the same time is brutal. So I had to figure out a way to start putting the pieces of my life back together and deal with my fluctuating hormones and the chaos that was going on inside my body. I didn't know how to take care of myself. So on this entire journey, nobody really looked at what some of the underlying causes were and how we could prevent some of these issues from happening and how we could heal. I was a child of the 80s, an adult of the 90s. I did all the things that I thought was what you should do, right? Eat less, exercise more, get more cardio, eat a high carb diet, very little protein, very little fat. And little did I know that it was slowly causing so many problems. My glucose was constantly spiking, but I didn't know this. I wasn't able to absorb vitamin D in the proper way. Again, I did not know this. And I wasn't getting a lot of red light. I wasn't walking. I was exercising all the time, but I was exercising to the point of exhaustion, most of the time, 6 or 7 days a week. And if I wasn't going to a high intensity boot camp every single day, I was out running 4 miles. I was literally exercising myself to exhaustion. But again, nobody was looking at me as a whole person and looking at what I was eating, how I was functioning, what my exercise routine was, what my stress levels were, what my life looked like. I was just told, let's cut you open, let's take pieces of your body out, let's put you on pills, and there's a Band-Aid for that. My goal with this YouTube channel is to not only share my journey of what didn't work, but finding what works and making it individualized to you, to your body, to your lifestyle. There's so much noise out there. I want to help you focus on the signal. I'm Lisa Williams. I am the owner and CEO of Hello Again Products, and I'm here to share my journey with you to help you create agency and empower yourself with knowledge.